On to Houston. I like this draft a lot from them. I like Derek Stingley. I think that's a fine pick for third overall. He's, he's going to be that alpha guy who, you know, is a leader for them through the next generation. Kenyon Green is also fine. Build up your offensive line, protect Davis Mills.
Oh, you're missing a line break in there.
What?
Okay. You're missing a line break, but it's okay.
Wait, what happened?
I don't know. There needs to be a line break between Florida and Thomas.
Oh, sorry, you're right. Thomas Hooker. No, I thought I had it. Oh well.
It's
At
okay.
least it's late. I
Yeah.
like Jalen Petrie a lot actually. I think he's
Yeah.
fast. I don't know if. I mean, I guess he projects more as a center fielder, right? More than like a strong guy who sits in the box and like run defends. Um,
No, he's more of a strong safety.
is he more of a strong safety? Okay,
Yeah, he played the every defense calls it something. Like the jack roll or whatever it is. He played
sure.
like he was kind of an overhang defender, but also more of a coverage overhang defender. Yeah.
Yeah.
People actually questioned whether he actually could cover, but then he showed up to the Senior Bowl and covered everyone. So
Uh, well, hey, good for him. But yeah, John Mechie's solid.
he's coming off his ACL, but yeah, he'll
Yeah.
be back sooner than Jameson Williams.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't really have a ton of thoughts about the rest of them, but I actually heard good things about Damian Pierce, but I don't know. That's
Damian Pierce is a decent player. He's kind of an all-around guy, but more of a power back.
hmm
If that makes sense. Excuse me. Um, he was very productive, but yeah, he's kind of a power back that is maybe on the smaller side. It's kind of an odd combination.
Sure.
Austin Nicholas is fine. He's an okay prospect as a maybe one day swing tackle, but he's not going to start in the NFL.
hmm
Thomas Booker's interesting. A lot of people say he's like the smartest defensive tackle they've ever talked to in their lives.
Oh
Stanford
yeah.
kid, you know.
Sure.
He's so smart that a lot of teams were considering saying they might move him to offensive line. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
interesting. Okay.
yeah. They said he has that kind of potential where he's smart enough he could just go switch over to the other side and he'll know what everyone's doing. So, yeah, Booker's a maybe a better player, maybe a better football player than he is an athlete. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah.
hmm
Christian Harris is
Yeah.
interesting. I really liked his tape. The thing is, he always is in the right place and then misses the tackle. He should have had like twice as many tackles as he did in
Uh-huh.
college. He's
uh-huh.
always in the right place. He takes the right angle. He's always in the right spot and then misses the tackle.
Yeah.
Truly a baffling guy. Like he's comes up to the quarterback. He's in perfect position, and someone else gets the sack. It's like, what? Like you were right there. Like all you had
Yeah.
to do was tackle the guy. It's not like Bryce Young's the most elusive guy out there, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
That's funny. Now that you say it, that actually rings a bell. I've in his profile, I've heard that his tackling is piss poor.
yeah, he hits the right hole. No, he's always in the right place, and he's doing the wrong thing in the right place. Uh,
But I guess
yeah,
I think 1 in 11's point though is that like if he was in the right place, he would have made the tackle,
yeah.
which is debatable, I think. But
It's frustrating, needless to say. Jalen Petrie, like I said, he was like an overhang kind of guy, in the box safety type.
mhm.
Um, and then no one thought he could cover, and then shows up to the Senior Bowl and covers everyone. So
Yeah.
good enough to go 37th apparently.
hmm
He's not quite as fast as his track teammates, but he was good. Um,
Montgomery sack king.
um,
Yeah.
and then Kenyon Green, he's a mean streak, but he has a knee, so it's kind of confusing why he went so early because he has a
hmm
knee problem. But like a mean guy, he's just gonna try to break everyone. So.
Oof. Yeah.
And then Stingley, he had the foot for a while. But really, a lot of people are like, oh, he just didn't want to play the past 2 years, on the 2 year championship hangover that LSU went through.
Uh-huh.
Uh, so, he just didn't want to play on a bad team. But man, in 2020, what was that, 2019? He
hmm
was just showing everyone how good he was. And it was frankly ridiculous. So,
hmm
yeah, good player. Obviously, his potential is so high. The real question is he going to reach that potential? No one really knows.
hmm
Uh,
Interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see what their wide receiver situation ends up being, because like they have John Mechie and like Will Fuller. There's
No,
Will
I don't
Fuller
think
not even there
Fuller's on the
anymore.
team anymore. No.
Who do they even have? They have like.
They just re-signed Brandon Cooks.
Oh, that's right. I always confuse Brandon Cooks and Will Fuller. So.
They're not very similar players.
I know they're not, but I always confuse them for some reason. Let's see.
They also have Nico Collins,
Oh, true. Let's go Nico Collins.
Chris Conley, Philip Dorsett, Chris Moore.
1 in 11 said motivation questionable. I guess that's for Derek Stingley.
Yeah, Stingley, yeah.
Um,
Deshaun Hamilton,
wait,
Penn State guy.
Chris Moore is still on a roster?
Apparently.
The Ravens cut him like 3 years ago, and I thought that the Ravens were where wide receivers went to die, like, let alone Houston.
Oh, but Houston had your wide receivers coach for a while.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We had David, what's his face? Culley.
Yeah, Culley.
Yeah.
So, not
I guess that checks out, yeah.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on Houston?
Yeah, I mean, this was a poverty roster, and they added some good players. Oh, I didn't talk
Yeah.
about Mechie. He's coming off an ACL. He'll be back sooner than
Mm-hmm.
Jameson Williams, but he is what he is, and well, that was super unhelpful comment for me, but yeah, he's a decent route runner. Saban said that he liked Mechie better than any of the other Alabama wide receivers, which Saban saying that is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so,
For sure.
yeah. Grandpa Nick helped more power than the governor of Alabama, so
Yep. Probably the
he's
highest
not like
paid
Tommy
person in
Tuberville
Alabama.
who has to run for the Senate.
Yeah. Maybe he will. Maybe if he ever retires, he'll have a.
He has no interest in politics. Grandpa Nick has more power without politics.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I agree. I think Houston really improved their roster a ton with this draft. I think they needed pieces and they got pieces. So I'm no complaints.
Yeah, if you went to Pro Football Focus's mock draft simulator,
Mm-hmm.
they come to team needs, and for Houston it just said everyone,
Everything.
like
Yeah.
the entire team.
Yeah, it's like
there is not a single position that is out of bounds here.
that means that they can't get a pick wrong because literally
Yeah,
any
for
position
real,
they
though.
draft will be an
Yeah.
improvement. So
I mean, they have a really good fullback, so I guess I wouldn't draft a fullback.
nice.
They
Wait,
have
who's their
some running
fullback?
backs. Andy Janovich.
Oh, okay. Sure, I
I
guess.
like Andy Janovich a lot. Marlon Mack, Rex Burkhead, Damian Pierce, Dare Ogunbowale,
Marlon Mack is on that team.
Royce
Marlon Mack.
Freeman, Darius Anderson, Scotty Phillips. Like, okay,
Wow.
like it's not a good running back room, but it's bodies.
Yeah. That
let's
is
see,
a running back room.
Their corners now with Derek Stingley are Lonnie Johnson from Kentucky, the big boy.
Mm-hmm.
Desmond King, Isaac Yadom, like not terrible. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Terrence Brooks, Jalen Petrie, Eric Murray. Yeah, like they definitely improved their team. Steven Nelson.
Titus Howard's not the worst. Like
Howard, who's Howard?
Titus Howard, left tackle.
Oh, Titus Howard. Yeah. Oh, I was on defense. I was not.
Oh, sorry.
over there,
I'm just thinking of players that are not replacement level.
Oh, I mean Larry Tunsil.
Yes, Larry Tunsil as well.
AJ Khan's not bad, although he's on the older side now.
Man, imagine
Farrell
being as
Brown,
bad as the Texans with such good tackles. Like, that's just wild.
Titus Howard's not good. I won't say he's good.
Well, okay, he's above a replacement level, right? Like, I'm not saying he's like a Pro Bowler, but like he's. I don't know.
Debatable. He hasn't developed quite as fast as they wanted him to for drafting him in the first round out of Alabama State, but
Sure. Okay, good to go with Houston.
Yep.
Okie doke. On to Indianapolis.
Go
Good
ahead.
guy, Jelani Woods, Nick Cross. I don't know. I don't really have much to say about this. I think. I like how they were just like Mo Alley Cox isn't enough. We need Jelani Woods.
Yeah, we want to have
we
7
want
offensive
so
linemen on the
many-
field. Yeah.
We want so many big players. We want so many tall tight ends that where like it doesn't even matter where we throw the ball. They'll just like catch radius it and call it a day. They don't need to be fast. They don't even need to run routes. Just like run in a straight line downfield, or run like a wheel or whatever, and we'll just throw it to you. Like I love it. I don't know who's gonna throw them. Oh, they have. Wait, who did the Colts pick up? They picked up
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan. Thank you. Yeah, he's fine.
Third rounder.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Like Matt Ryan can throw the ball far enough that they to tight ends, so like it's fine. Nick Cross will be interesting. He's a fun, heavy hitter. Bernard Raymond, I am surprised that he fell as far as he did. Because wasn't he projected to be like a second rounder? Like, wasn't he a guy that people were really high on? He was in the top, maybe not top 5 tackles, but like top 8 tackles in the class for a lot of people, and he just kind of fell. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. He was just under Trevor Penning, probably.
Sure.
I had the same tier as Tyler Smith, Abram Lucas, Nicholas Frere, Daniel Falele, and Trevor Penning. That was that tier.
Sure. I don't really know much about Alec Pierce, so I don't have a ton to say about him. But yeah, I think overall they're filling holes. I think they did most of what they needed to do. I think the Colts are looking okay.
Yeah, I mean, the Colts are just like sitting there like, you know what? We need to have the biggest offense ever. With Alec Pierce at 6'3".
Yeah.
They're going to pick Jelani Woods at 6'7". They're just like, oh, we're just going to put trees out there. It's, Matt Ryan can throw with his eyes closed and he can finally hit guys, like.
Yeah. And now that A.J. Brown is gone, that's like, that actually.
A.J. Brown was never on the Colts.
I meant from the Titans. Now that A.J. Brown is gone from the Titans. That might actually be enough for the Colts to win the AFC South. Because
I don't know about that, but yeah. I mean, so with Nick Cross is a little bit undersized. I think they saw a little bit of Bob Sanders in him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he plays kind of. I mean, he's not quite as crazy like maniac as Bob Sanders, but he's a similar big hitter. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Eric Johnson, great, one of the better anchors in this class. Good player, yeah. And I wrote about Jelani Woods. You can check that out on my article on campus2canton.com.
Shameless plugs. Let's go, baby. Absolutely. Yeah. Indianapolis is so big. Indianapolis feels like the team that the Ravens match up the best with, because we have so many like linebackers and safeties that we could actually cover them all. But like,
yeah, maybe.
I don't know, because I mean they're also like, I guess Mo Alley Cox and Jelani Woods aren't like, they don't light the world on fire receiving wise. So
I would like to watch the two of them play one-on-one in basketball. I think that would be a good time.
Yeah, that'd be fun. But yeah, I do think they have a chance to take the AFC South this year. I'm not sure it's more than 50-50, but I think that yes, the Colts are Baltimore, but I don't know. Whew. Do you have any other thoughts about the Colts? Or you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a decent draft with what they had, but they.
Yeah, a lot of mid-rounders. It's interesting, but.
I mean, this draft had a lot of mid-rounders. It probably had like 4 rounds worth of second and third round kids. So. Right.
Ooh. All right. Anything else, or are you good to go?
Good to go.
Okay. Tennessee. This is something that I wanted to kind of ask when we hit Tennessee, but the fall of Malik Willis is obviously something that I think we should talk about. But also in general, I feel like this class, we hinted before that in the end, that NFL teams were not very high on the quarterbacks in this class. But like at some point, like, are you really going to not draft like Sam Howell at the end of the 5th or something? Like, it feels like even for how bad the quarterbacks were, teams were like so against them that quarterbacks almost ended up in a value spot where they were getting drafted later than they deserved to be.
And I think that's what happened. Like I think Ritter is not going to be a future starter. Willis not a future starter. Like they realized these guys aren't starters, and so what they did was they took them where you would take high end backups, which is what they are, right? Like Malik Willis maybe has the ceiling to be a starter. He has a good arm, but you never see the arm because he's always running for his life behind that Liberty offensive line.
Right.
He just like he has no problem. As soon as he sees someone in his face, he's gone. He's running. Like there's no stopping him. He's not looking up to throw the ball because he has no need to. Yeah.
But
yeah, this quarterback class was not good. I thought I'm with you. I thought they would go in the second honestly. They didn't, and frankly, maybe if you go just strictly by data, maybe better for them because second round quarterbacks have like the lowest hit rate out of any round of quarterback in the NFL ever. So there's that. But the Titans had a decent pick. I like the way the Titans draft. I think I value players kind of similar to them.
They have a lot of fun players.
First? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I guess you go ahead. I've gone first a couple times. You go ahead and.
So they drafted 2 Maryland kids.
Yes.
First.
Yes.
Chance Campbell.
Campbell.
DJ Durkin down there, but okay.
Yeah. Don't get it. And for anyone watching, let's get this straight. Chance Campbell's a Maryland kid. He's not an Ole Miss kid. Like
he's a Maryland kid.
You can say he's an Ole Miss kid, but
he's a problematic coach, but he's a Maryland kid. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a Maryland kid at heart.
Kyle Phillips is their new Adam Humphries. He's okay. He's not quite as athletic, but people got real lazy with the player comps. They're like, this kid is like Wes Welker. And it's like, is it because he's white and plays the slot and he's kind of short? Like, people are just getting lazy with it. So
like Cole Beasley, like Wes Welker, like
yeah.
Julian Edelman. I don't know.
Chig is fun. I wrote about him in my article in Campus Camp. Chig is a
yes.
Chig is a fun player because he's short for a tight end. He's only 6'2", but he's built like real thick. And so like some people were saying you might as well just move him to fullback at that point. He's not the greatest blocker, but like he was also the fastest tight end in class. Like So there's something to be said about Chig where he's freakishly athletic, will find the hole in the zone. The problem is in college he had just up and down production everywhere. One game he would have 0 catches and no one knows where he was. The next he would have 2 catches for 9 yards and everyone's like, okay, what have you been doing? And then the next game he would pop up for 12 catches against Penn State and it's like, oh, what happened? And so part of that is Talia's problem. That he just panics a lot of the time, but part of the problem is like Chig struggles against faster guys, but can overpower a lot of the weaker guys. He's good usually for at least one broken tackle on leaks. Chig's a good player. Yeah. Hassan Haskins, I did not have him nearly this high.
Yeah.
He's a hard runner, but he's not a power runner if that makes sense. He does nothing particularly well. He's okay at a lot of things, but he does nothing particularly well. Malik Willis we already talked about. Nicholas Petit-Frere has the worst anchor I've ever seen in a tackle that big. He always gets pushed back, and it was bad. And luckily, C.J. Stroud is mobile enough. He's just always stepping out of the way, so it was fine. But yeah. Roger McCreary, interesting.
Hey, we stand by our Terrapin bias here.
Yeah,
we stand by.
We own up to it. We know. This is a Terrapin show. Roger McCreary is an interesting player. I really liked him a lot. He really shut down those Alabama kids. He was doing well against Jameson Williams in that in the Egg Bowl, not the Egg Bowl, the Iron Bowl. He was doing real well against Jameson Williams. 6'1" kid. We expected a lot longer arms out of him, but he only has like 30-inch arms, or maybe even shorter, 9.5 or something. So people were like, "Oh, he has dinosaur arms. He's not gonna, make it." But he's a really good player. I thought any team would be good to have him, and he fits in really well with like that Elijah Molden group. So really good player. Traylon Burks, I had some questions about. He was my wide receiver, like 6, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, wide receiver 6. He's a good player. A lot of his touches were prescribed touches. Like screens or like sweeps or stuff. So he's like a versatile player, but no one really knows what his production is like as a pure receiver.
Mm-hmm.
He runs routes fairly well, but not like super crisp. He's not like Chris Olave, who's going to be open because of his route.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but at the same time, like he has like some downfield ability, some big play ability. He can make it to the end zone when he needs to. So he's a good player. One concern is that he showed up one time to he weighed in at 240 once
Oh yeah,
for a
yeah,
receiver
yeah.
that's only 5'11" or like 6 foot.
Yeah, it's not
Not
quite gonna cut it.
great. Yeah,
Yeah.
not great. And his build, he's built like a much larger person, even though he's only like 6 foot. So, it'll be interesting to monitor his career. He is not AJ Brown, I will tell you that. And you are hoping you get about 50% of AJ Brown out of him, and he's not going to do that for you. So, he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but he was not worth AJ Brown.
Uh-huh. That's fair enough. Yeah. I also agree with you that Hassan Haskins is wild that he's a fourth rounder. Because like even just watching him as a casual in Big Ten play, he did not stick out to me at all. Like Michigan's offensive line was good enough that like he was able to do stuff, but like he wasn't particularly explosive at all. He was just kind of like run straight forward and that's it. So I agree with you on that. Despite being a UCLA guy, I really don't know enough about Kyle Phillips, so I'll have to look him up. But
He's a pretty decent route runner. He was often coming underneath Greg Dulcich's routes, so he was a beneficiary of that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Hassan Haskins was my 27th ranked running back, so
Ooh,
take that as you will.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good way to put it. 1-11. He just kind of did what he needed to do, and that's kind of it. I don't.
Yeah,
really...
I mean, he'll score. You give him a touch inside the 5 yard line, he will score, but it won't be because he's powering over someone. He'll just kind of find a way in there, you know.
Like fall forward, and that's it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the Titans had, like you said, a very Titans draft, but we'll see how it turns out for them. I don't know. It's going to be interesting seeing what Julio Jones does by himself on the Titans. That's kind of funny, but...
I don't think even Julio's on that team anymore.
Wait, where did Julio end up? Where did he go in the offseason?
I need to check, but I think Julio left too. I know I've been having trouble keeping up with roster moves this offseason as well, but I think receivers are Traylon Burks, Nick Westbrook-Ikine, and Robert Woods, and Racy McMath from LSU, Des Fitzpatrick from Louisville, Kyle Phillips. Guys, even I don't recognize. That is not a good wide receiver room.
Yeah, unless
that's not what they want to do, right? They're going to give 200 touches to Derrick Henry, so
yeah. It's like
more
it's
than 200
fine.
touches. What am I thinking? They'll give him like 400 touches over the year. So like
yeah. But yeah, I think unless I'm seeing something. Oh, he got released by the Titans, so I don't think he has a team yet. He hasn't been, according to his Wikipedia, he hasn't been picked up by a team yet. Bring him to Baltimore, baby. Let's go.
I don't think you want him. He is broken.
Is he? Aw. But is he a better player than like James Prochet, Tylan Wallace?
Yeah, he is, but he's a broken player. Yeah.
Okay.
You're getting a shadow of what he used to be.
I mean, I agree. I'm not expecting him. I'm not expecting 2015 Julio. Like I'm not expecting that. But,
mind you, he's always been injury prone. He showed up at the combine with a broken foot, if you remember, and still ran a 4.340.
And that's why he got drafted in the top 10.
Yeah. But,
yeah.
That was
wild.
the first year they actually put GPS trackers in the combine uniforms.
Nice. Good for NFL. Keep it up. All right. Do you have any more thoughts about the Titans, or are you ready to move on to our last NFL team?
I'm ready.
Okay. And last but not least, the Jacksonville Jaguars. And before we
save some jobs.
Yeah, before we talk about any picks, I got a kick out of there was a virtual banner that said "Stay home strong" or "Stay home, stay strong," which was like a COVID based ad campaign, but I think it makes sense for the Jags in general anyway. So I figured I'd put that on there just for funsies. But
Okay.
but regardless, yeah, they had a crazy draft. Despite what I said earlier, like I think Trevon Walker's like, yeah, I think he's fine as a first overall pick. Devin Lloyd is insane. Like, love that. Luke Fortner is what? He was like the third best center in the class, probably. Like, he's solid. I heard
Did
really
not
good.
have him as high as third, but I had him fourth.
Okay. Well, I mean, you had like Alec Lindstrom third or something, right? So,
No, I had
no?
Cam Jurgens third.
Oh, okay. Okay. Um, I heard really good things about Chad Muma. I heard he's, oh, what did I hear about him?
He's another athletic
He's,
freak, yeah.
yeah. And then between Snoop Connor, Gregory Jr., and Montaric Brown, I don't really know much about the last three. But yeah, they filled a bunch of needs. They don't have a tackle, which is okay, I guess. Trevor Lawrence is a consummate professional, so he'll be okay. As long as he doesn't die behind that offensive line, but so it goes.
Well, corners. I have a soft spot for defensive backs out of Wichita Baptist. Throwback to Cliff
Yeah.
Harris. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but Snoop Connor, he's kind of an all-around guy. He's not quite as explosive as like Jerry and Ely in terms of like speed and
Mm-hmm.
quickness and such. Chad Muma, another one of those athletic freak linebackers. He's really fast. He probably could work on his drops a little bit, but like he's decent enough at coverage as well. Luke Fortner, I loved Luke Fortner watching his tape. Kentucky center. He's just he was really good. 6'4" center, so he pops off the tape because no center is 6'4" in college.
Mm-hmm.
Just huge kid, and played really well. He's a smart kid and makes his calls correctly and such. Really big fan of Luke Fortner, and he's going to fit well in that offense. I think with that pick alone, Doug Peterson saved a lot of jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Chad Muma also shows that they might not be in love with Miles Jack that much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Lloyd is interesting. He's older than Tremaine Edmonds, who was drafted like 3 years ago.
Sure.
He's like 23, almost 24. Like he's an older prospect, but obviously we've seen what he can do on tape, and like it's pretty exciting. Scoop and score guy. He can drop super long arms. You can just tell he's like touching halfway down his thighs when he's just standing straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Big guy. He's like 6'2", 6'3", maybe. Bigger guy. Like he's exciting. He's an exciting guy. Trayvon Walker, obviously, there was a lot of hype coming through like late, although
Mm-hmm.
Dane Brugler was on it like a month and a half ago. So,
Oh.
yeah, Trayvon Walker. As it came closer, it was more and more obvious that he was going to be the first overall pick. But yeah, they definitely saved a lot of jobs here. Like Balky was thinking of Alden Smith when he picked Trayvon Walker. Yeah, and a huge fan of Luke Fortner. I loved watching Luke Fortner. He was a player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.